Hey, MathCook here. This video contains one of many examples in my Algebra 2 library. The rest of those examples, along with hundreds of other videos, are only available at mathkook.com. Let's MathCook it up. This question says, given the hyperbola 4y squared minus x squared equals 16, find the center, vertices, foci, and asymptotes of each hyperbola. Then graph it. So there are two types of hyperbolas that we want to look at, and we will decide once we get this hyperbola into standard form, then we'll decide which one it is. So there's a horizontal hyperbola where the horizontal axis is the major axis. The center would be HK, and notice here for a horizontal hyperbola, the actual graph goes left and right. Now for a vertical hyperbola, the graph goes up and down. And in this case, we can tell it's a horizontal hyperbola because the x term is positive. And a squared goes underneath the x squared in that case. Now, if the y squared term is positive, then the a squared goes underneath that. And in this case, the y-axis would be the major axis. All right, so let's go ahead and bring our equation down here, and then we will put it into standard form and then decide whether it's in a horizontal ellipse or a vertical ellipse. So the first thing we're going to do is divide both sides by 16 because we want a 1 on the right side. So 4 over 16 gives us 4. So we have y squared over 4 minus x squared over 16, can't do much with that, equals 16 over 16, which is 1. All right, so that tells us that this hyperbola, see how the y squared is positive? We're looking at a vertical hyperbola. So the major axis is a vertical axis here. All right, and then the distance A is the distance from the center to the vertex here. The distance B is the distance from the center to the co-vertex here. That'll help us find the box so we can draw our asymptotes. And then C is the distance from the center to each of these foci here, this one and down to this one. All right, so next let's go ahead and bring down our items that they're asking for. So let's start with the center. So the center, since there's no numbers on top here, it's just y squared and x squared, that really means y minus 0 squared and x minus 0 squared. So the center is simply 0, 0. All right, and then our a value, so a squared is 4. So therefore, a is going to equal 2. So we'll go ahead and write that here. So a squared equals 4. Take the square root of both sides. So a equals 2. Now over here we have our 16. Oops, we'll do that in red or green. So b squared equals 16. Take the square root of both sides. So b equals 4. All right, let's add that to our list of items here. So a equals 2, b equals 4. All right, how do we find c? There's an equation. C squared equals a squared plus b squared. That relates all three of those. So c squared equals a squared, so 2 squared plus b, so it's 4 squared. C squared equals 4 plus 16, which is 20. We take the square root of both sides. We get c equals the square root of 20. If we break that down, 4 goes into 20, so that's really the square root of 4 is 2. Then we're left with 5. So that tells us our c value is 2 root 5. All right. So next, we want to find the vertices. So the vertices are going to be straight up and straight down. So we're just going to add a here to go from the center to the vertex. So we're going to add to the y value because we're going up and down. So the center is 0, 0. So we're going to add 2 and subtract 2 to the y value. So this one's pretty easy. We'll get 0, 2 and 0, negative 2. I'm going to go ahead and erase some of this work right here. So our vertices are 0 up 2 and 0 down 2, so negative 2. Okay, next, foci. So we're going to add and subtract c to, again, the y value of the vertex because the y value, or the y-axis, is the major axis. So we're going up and down from the center. And then, so we'll have 0, 2 root 5, and then 0, minus 2 root 5. All right, so those are the 2 points of our foci, so this point and this point. And lastly, our asymptotes. So for the asymptotes, we're going to use this equation here, y minus k equals plus or minus, and it's going to be a over b. Now, in some cases, it's b over a. If the x-axis was the major axis, then it would be b over a. But we can look here, see how we go up a and over b, because slope is rise over run, so up a over b. So that's why it's a over b when the y-axis is the major axis. All right, so let's go ahead and plug in. So we have y minus k, which is 0, plus or equals plus or minus a, which is 2, over b, which is 4, over x minus 0. Y minus 0 is y, plus or minus 2 over 4 is 1/2, then x. All right, so there are the equations of our two asymptotes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and erase our chart here. That way we have room to graph. So here's our graph. First thing we're going to graph is our center, 0, 0. We'll do that in blue. So there is our center. Next, we'll graph our vertices. So we're going to go up 2 and down 2 from the center. And oftentimes you don't even need any of this information. All you need is the center and ABCs to graph. So really I'm just going up and down 2 from the center. So we'll go up 2, put a dot. Down 2, put a dot. And then we have B is 4. So we're going to go left and right 4. So we'll left 4 to here. Right 4. Then we can draw our box. So our box is going to go up like this here. And the box is really important for graphing the asymptotes. All right, next we'll graph the foci. So 2 root 5, we're going to go up and down 2 root 5. So 2 root 5 is about what? So if you remember, that came from root 20. So let's take a look at root 20 here on the side. So root 20 is between what two perfect squares? So root 20 is between root 25 and then the perfect square below it is root 16, which is 4 and 5. And root 20 is almost right between those two numbers, so we'll just guess or estimate that root 20 is about 4.5. So we're going to go up 4.5, and that's where our first focus will be. Then we'll go down 4.5. That's where our second focus will be. All right, so now we draw our asymptotes. We're going to go right through the center, out the edge here, the corner. And we just kind of do our best to draw a straight line, even though it is sometimes kind of difficult to draw a perfectly straight line. But we do our best. There it is. Okay, so now we have two options. Is our hyperbola going to go open left and right like this? Or is it going to go open up or down like this? So hopefully you answered up and down, because remember, y is the major axis. So it's going to go through this vertex, go like this here, and then same thing over here on top. So let's go ahead and make our graph. It's going to be a pretty shallow looking hyperbola here. So there's that. There's that. Notice it goes forever without touching these asymptotes. So it'll go forever without touching them. All right, so there are our points. I'll go ahead and label them. So our focus is here and here. Our vertex is here and here. Then our center is this point here. So I'll just put a C right there. And our asymptotes, we'll go ahead and label those guys. So this asymptote was the positive sloped one. So that's going to be y equals 1/2 x. And then this one is the negative sloped one, so that'll be y equals negative 1/2 x. So there is our final graph of this hyperbola with our asymptotes and everything labeled. Hey Kook, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. For unlimited access to all of my Algebra 2 videos, visit mathkook.com. Thanks for watching.